So, welcome to the change is coming. Know how it affects you, the project management professional. Uh, so, this is provided by Edureka. This is webinar that you are attending, and that is Edureka, is global registered educational provider. So, we are REP, which is certified REP with PMI. PMI stands for Project Management Institute, and we'll see in a while. So there are a couple of things we keep on talking about is PMI, PMP, PMBOK. So as and when the term comes, I'll be explaining more about it. So for example, PMP stands for Project Management Professional. So this is all about project management professional. There is institute called Project Management Institute, and Pennsylvania. This is from Pennsylvania, USA. That's where it is headquartered, Project Management Institute, and it has done a lot of research and has come out with PMBOK guide. So PMBOK stands for Project Management Body of Knowledge, which essentially talks about the standard. It essentially talks about the processes to be executed. It essentially talks about the processes from the perspective of IPEC. So we'll see what is IPEC and so on subsequently. So before we go into further details, let me introduce about myself. I am Shekhar Raut. I have 17 years of experience, out of which 12 years I have in project management. I am into telecom software. So with that, let's begin. So what we are going to see first is introduction to PMI. PMP, what is Project Management Institute, what is Project Management Professional, what is eligibility criteria for Project Management Professional, what is current format of PMP, and what is going to change. I mean, why we are changing, what is going to change. So those are the things that we are going to see. We have, and we'll see if there are any changes to PMBOK guide, how often they occur, why we are talking about change, and all those things we'll be seeing. Then we'll see the exam dates and participation. So how the exam is there, if there are any myths about PMP exam. There are many. People keep on asking the same question again and again. So we have found there are myths about PMP exam. We'll try to demystify in subsequent slides. So how much time is needed to prepare for PMP exam? That also will give you a nice schedule that will tell you, how to prepare the PMP within 6 to 8 weeks period and pass the exam successfully. So that's what. Let's begin with the first slide. So this talks about Project Management Institute, which is not-for-profit association. It was established in 1969, so it's pretty old organization, which is not-for-profit. It is headquartered in Pennsylvania, USA, and it's a global organization. So we have excuse me. So we have over 450,000 members worldwide. So these are the member of PMI, Project Management Institute, and this is over 171 countries. So you can see that there are large number of followers. There are people who are using it in day-to-day activities within their organization and so on. So PMI essentially is actively engaged in advocacy for the profession. It sets the professional standards, it conducts research, and provides access to the wealth of information and resources. So what does it mean is essentially PMI, just give me a moment. As I was talking about, is actively engaged in advocacy for the profession. So what happens is the PMPs, the project management professionals, after passing the exam, you become a project management professional. You'll see the prerequisite is around 4 to 5 years of experience, and essentially out of which number of hours and so on, which we'll talk in a moment from now. So once you become that, you can conduct the research and you can become part of PMI. And as it is not for profit organization, it will you can form a teams and essentially do the research, and basically you come out with a lot of information with respect to the project management. It also have program management, it has agile methodology, it has, so a lot of methodologies are there. Project management is one of the fundamental and one of the very famous with PMI. The kind of wealth of information resources it is talking about is essentially it provides you with the templates, it provides you with the processes, it provides you with PMBOK guide itself, a project management body of knowledge, which you'll see in a moment. So what does PMBOK contains is, it is project management body of knowledge. It contains 47 processes, 10 knowledge areas, and essentially it also contains 5 process groups. So those 5 process groups is the area of discussion right now. So PMI also promotes career and professional development. It also offers certification, networking, community involvement opportunities. So PMI has chapters all over the various countries that it was I just mentioned. 4,500, 450,000 members are there. So over 171 countries. So over there in those countries, in many cities in those countries, you'll find the PMI chapter. So for example, I am from Bangalore, and this is where essentially we cover the PMI chapter Bangalore, PMI Bangalore chapter, that's what we call. And there I get to, once I become a member, I get to network with the community. Then I'll also get a chance to involve in the opportunities in developing the PMP exam and other material that may be required. So those are the opportunities that you get. And professional development promotes career is like you want to become a project manager. There is a question from Pramod Kumar, which I'll answer shortly. So you want to, so promoting career is all about you want to become a project manager. Then you want to become a senior person to project manager, whom project manager reports into usually program manager. Program manager reports into portfolio manager. So all those certifications are also there and they are part of your PM. So there is a question from Pramod Kumar who talks about, does PMP also talk about agile and how different or similar are they? So the answer to your question, Pramod, I'm just opening in case you want to comment anything further. All right. Pramod. All right, Pramod, if there is any background noise, please take care of that. Looks like you are muted by yourself. That should be fine. So the first question, does PMP also talk about agile? Answer is no. We have separate certification for that, and agile certification is different than PMP. Then what is the common thing between basically PMP and agile? So there is a mention of agile. So agile is methodology. PMP is a standard. So PMP has higher goals. PMP has higher level view compared to the agile, which is actually implementation of a standard. So that's the connection between the two. Okay, so it doesn't talk much about agile, but we have one project lifecycle related topic in which we talk about agile, maybe a paragraph or two. So it's not covered in detail. That's what there is to. So Pramod says, okay, thank. All right. So I'm just closing for Pramod. All right. Then there is a question from Salil. He says, how can PMP help in agile innovation, frugal innovation? So Salil, both are interrelated topics, as I said earlier to Pramod. In essence, PMP is a standard which takes a high level overview, high level view of the project management, whereas agile is actual implementation of that standard. So you will see PMP uses a lot of PMP uses quality management processes, which has tools and techniques to help you in agile innovation, frugal innovation. So you, it is up to you how you use those tools and technique. Again, as I said, it is a standard, so the coverage is at high level, so you will not expect any implementation details as you will see it for agile and frugal. Okay, so Navin has a good suggestion that will yeah, thanks Ali. Sure, Navin, your suggestion is taken positively. So at times so as per Navin, he wants us to basically take the questions at the end, which is good suggestion. Thanks, Navin, for the. So all right, what I'm going to do is I'm changing the sequence. Sequence is I'll first talk about PMP certification itself. Then I'll walk you through the changes that we are going to talk about. So, so PMP certification, you have why you want to do the project management certification? So, uh, mainly, we all know that it is globally recognized and demanded, right? So that is one. Second, motivation for me to, and when I became, I can vouch for it. I'm a PMP certified since 2006. So I have been benefited and have been benefited even now. Last uh, 4 or 5 years, I'm into training also, and I can see more and more people taking PMP for obvious reason. So it increases marketability to employers, and also it leads to a higher salary. So those are the distinct advantages why you go for PMP certification, which is this certificate essentially provides you with industry-wide recognition. So this is the most important industry recognized certification for project managers. So you can see that a lot of companies, MNCs, non-MNCs, they essentially ask for people to manage their project who has a PMP certification. That also shows that it has those standards, it has which is evolved over the period of time, and it is keeping the pace with the time also. So we'll see how it is doing that. Okay, then a PMP credential demonstrates that professional has the experience, education and competency to lead and direct the project, so which is very important. So uh, okay, why PMP certification? That's what we saw. What are the prerequisite in order to for you to become PMP certified? So one is usually you will fall in the second category. So there are two categories of educational background. Either you have bachelor's degree or global equivalent, or high school diploma or associate degree. So usually this is the the second column that you will fall into. So you need to have 4,500 hours of experience over 3 years. So when I'm talking about 4,500 of experience, we'll see how the main points which are coming from the this box down here. And you need to have 35 contact hours. So this is what Edureka provides you. So when you join Edureka, you need to have this 35 contact hours of project management education, which is based on essentially PMBOK and the changes that we are going to talk today. So those are going to be interesting talk. Let's see. Coming to the point in here, designation during the specified project management is not of much consequence. It does not matter whether you are senior lead, you're lead, you're senior programmer, you may be anything. It doesn't matter as long as you are doing the project management work, which is estimation, and that's what we teach also. But we all know right from initiating the project, you may get involved into the proposal making, you may get involved into SOW, you may get involved into project management plan, which all of us at particular time for some time you will be involved, and that's where estimation, then actual execution, providing deliverables, uh, attending those meetings, and all those hours will go towards essentially your project management. So this is what you need to have: 4500 plus hours of experience over the 3 years, that is 36 plus months. So another question, so 36 months means only just last 3 years? No, you can go till during last 8 years. So experience in projects during last 8 years is considered. Here project duration must not overlap. So basically this is a good suggestion. A lot of times it is seen, and a lot of people have told me earlier also, and even I have done some projects in parallel, but you can always segregate them and show them separately for the presentation with essentially PMP examination. So basically there is a reason why project duration must not overlap, because which PMI understands is very important when so there is and then the last one is 20% of applications are picked up for random audit. So usually when you are applying, you are not required to provide any proof of 35 contact hour or proof of let's say the experience that you have. You are just claiming that. So in case your application gets picked up for random audit, that is 20% is pretty high, so the chances are good. So be truthful and follow the things that we'll say. We will guide you as a Edureka. At Edureka, we do guide you in filling up your exam related forms, and we do guide you not only 35 contact hours. You will see what all support we provide. So we'll be providing all that. Okay. Now coming to the educational background of high school diploma, associate degree, or global equivalent. So in case you don't have bachelor's degree or global equivalent, then even for high school diploma, associate degree, or global equivalent can appear for PMP examination, but need to have 7500 hours plus hours of experience over 5 years. So again 8 years also is fine, but so over 5+ years. So that's, and in both the places you need to get 35 contact hours. That's what Edureka provides you. So there are a couple of questions which I'm going to take now. Usually for the purpose of flow, what I am going to do is I'm going to take Salil's and Richa's question in a moment, but before that I would like to cover the next slide. So let's do that. So what is PMP examination pattern, ideal preparation time, and myths? Because a lot of questions get answered during this. So listen to me, then I'll take your question one by one. Okay. So this is an examination pattern, computer-based exam, which is conducted in prometric centers. So you will get a 200 multiple choice questions, which are mixed randomly across process groups to be answered in 4 hours. We'll see what process group is in a short while. So there are 5 process groups: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing process groups. So these 5 process groups, you will get 4 hours to be answered 200. So out of these 200 questions, 175 are for my final marking, and remaining 25 are for pre-test question. Does it matter to me? Really not, because I have to answer as if all those 200 questions are for final marking, because I don't come to know when I'm marking the exam which of them are 175 and which of them are rest 25 pre-test question. I don't come to know. So then why the information is there? These 25 pre-test questions are the ones which gets pre-tested, and they are certain kind of psychoanalysis is done on that by the psychologist, certified psychologist, and they come out with whether these question will appear in subsequent exam or not. So that is the only reason. So those 175 questions that you are answering, usually they are pre-tested. So if you are So no new question comes suddenly and break your rhythm or essentially take you out of whatever you have prepared. So that's what it is. Otherwise, it's just 200 question in 4 hours. That's all you need to remember. There is no negative marking in the exam. Fallout. Usually, when you see the when you see the question, you mark some option, because what happens is it is seen a lot of times. I'm seeing, not all the time. The first intuition that you go with or select the answer, usually it is correct, and hence marking the answer and then checking it for review would be a good idea, good strategy. So that's what we tell our student based on this no negative marking. This examination is developed by a group of individuals from around the globe who hold the PMP credential like me. So after clearing the exam, you will ask the you will get the result immediately and PMP certificate by mail within 2 minutes. So result flashes on your screen within few seconds, within a minute, and examination scores are confidential. That means you don't come to know how much you have scored out of 200 questions, how many are correct and how. So that is not given to you. There are reasons which I'll not very important for you, because what you need to know is whether you have cleared or not. So that's what we'll see. Then coming to the ideal preparation time. Here, as you can see, the ideal time gap between training and exam is usually 6 to 8 weeks. So you take a training of over the period of 4 weeks, you get good amount of time to practice. 6 to 8 weeks is good enough. There are people who can who have done it within 2 weeks of training, but there is a high risk involved. So what we prepare you is towards ensuring that you pass on your first attempt itself, and that's where this ideal preparation time is given. So so you first become a PMI member, that is first thing. Then we provide online virtual training. Then you attend the PMP exam preparation training by that, right? So that is provided by Edureka. Then you submit the application after the education is over of those 35 contact hours, because you need to confirm in your application submission that you have completed that. So, and you submit the application. So application formalities takes 1 or 3 weeks. So application and audit assistance is provided by Edureka. So after application is approved, you schedule the exam. So you may schedule exam to take it somewhere here. So scheduling exam happens over here. So during the rest of the time, you continue to study for 2 to 3 weeks, in which again personalized guidance by subject matter expertise from Edureka is provided. Then you continue again next 2 to 3 weeks, continue to study and mock test. More than 1,000 mock questions by Edureka will be provided. And then you relax on T-1 day and take the exam and clear it. So that's the usual stuff. And after you clear it, you get a PMP certification. So once you get PMP certification, you need to renew it every 3 years. So even during that, assistance is provided by for PDUs by by Edureka, and you can do the renewal. So that's what this is ideal preparation time, 6 to 8 weeks. A lot of support is provided, 24/7 assistance from Edureka, which helps you. Coming to, so this is the last slide before I start taking the questions from, I think so far I have seen from Salil and Richa. So give me a moment, I will be coming there. So aspirants needs to take 35 PDUs to apply for the PMP exam. So contact hours are required, whereas so PDU stands for Professional Development Unit. So 35 PDU is a myth, because what you need is 35 contact hours of training, and this is required to apply for your PMP examination. And PDUs are required to maintain your PMP credentials once you clear the PMP exam after 3 years. So every PDU stands for 1 hour of, let's say, your training, webinar, the way you are attending the webinar, that 1 hour, and essentially, and so on. So minimum score needed to pass is determined by the overall difficulty of your individual exam. So this is another point wherein why you are not told the score, or why the scores are confidential. What happens is you make it a different set. So let's say 4 of you go to the Prometric Center for giving the PMP exam. All of you may get different set of PMP examination. So set A, set B, set C, set D, and some may be one may be difficult, one may be easy, one may be medium, and so on. So whatever score you are going to get in that exam cannot be compared amongst 4 of you, and hence basically the passing percentage is also different for difficulty based on difficulty level. So if more difficult, the passing percentage may be less. So that is all determined by psychoanalysis, psychometric analysis by the psychologists which are there with Edureka. They are certified professionals who help determine the passing score for. So that's how the things are. You don't need to know what is your score. Passing is important. Okay, and the minimum score needed to pass is determined by overall difficulty. Now coming to passing score for PMP exam, this is another myth, is 61%. As I said earlier, there is no documented set of marks or percentage to pass the PMP exam. So PMP is essentially gives you PMP handbook, which is supposed to give all this information. Before 2005, around that time period, this was coming as 71% or 81%, whatever was there. But November 2005 onwards, PMI stopped publishing the passing percentage and essentially adopted psychometric analysis to calculate the passing score. Hence, this assumption is not valid anymore. So don't go by that. In short, you must memorize inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. ITTOs in general, it is called as one word. Input, tools, techniques and outputs. So there are almost 500 ITTOs. There are 47 processes. Every process have, if you consider 10 ITTOs also, it becomes 470. So almost 500 ITTOs in PMBOK guide. PMBOK guide is Project Management Body of Knowledge guide, which essentially a standard which talks about most of the processes to be used within on most of the project most of the time in order to make your project successful. So there is no 500 ITTOs, and to the key is to fully understand the concepts of each process and not to memorize the ITTOs. So it is simple, straightforward. As we are assuming you have worked on projects, and you will come to know once you start reading, and more than reading is pretty difficult for going on your own. But once you attend the training, you will find it much more easier to read. And basically, what you need to understand is concepts and not memorize the ITTOs. And another reason is most of the questions, they relate to how or why specific ITTO is used in a process. So here memorization will be of no use to you, right? So when answering those type of questions. So there is a question from Steve Richa, and so I'm going by the way it was asked. So first it was Salil. So Salil, he says, does PhD 4.3 years of experience on different projects handle count for a PMP? So so I'm just going back to the slide. So as discussed, this, so you may have masters, you may have PhD. It will be falling in this bracket, and basically you will be required to have 4,500 or plus hours of experience with 3 years of over the period of 3 years. That's what you need. Okay, Salil. So PMP doesn't treat apart from this, there is no other prerequisite. So whether you are PhD or or masters, there is no discount given to you. In short, I hope Salil that is fine with you. Okay. Richa has a question. What is the reason that project duration must not overlap? So she has further questions that says, do we choose the date and time of exam ourselves or is it done by PMI? So you can, the second question answer is easy. Do we choose the date and time of exam ourselves or is it done? So you have to, you can choose and you can reschedule also, Richa. Let's say you have scheduled one date. Maybe a week before or sometime before that, you can change the date in case you are still not comfortable. So it is not done by PMI, it is done by you. So that is one question. The main question she had was, what is the reason that project duration must not overlap? So since it is assumed that you are learning project management, so although you have some experience, so that is the reason. If the project durations are overlapping, which may be case for some of your projects, which essentially the way I say is very simple example I take. Let's say you have 2 years, you have two projects done in a month. So you show those first project for first 15 days, second project for second 15 days. You just ensure that they are not overlapping. This is to show or distinct a number of hours that you need to show it to. So when you are filling up a form, you need to show how much hours you have spent in initiation, how much hours in planning, how much in execution, and so on. To differentiate that you need to keep this project duration separate. Otherwise, there is no other reason that I can see. Yeah, I hope that is fine with you. So I'm just opening the because Richa has further comments. So I'm just trying to open her. Give me a moment. Yeah, Richa, you are online. So what will be different for both the projects? So that will be different for, no, I didn't get the question. What will be different for both the projects? IPEC. All right. So Richa, uh, that will be different for both the projects. IPEC will be different for both the projects. What does it mean is essentially you are showing those hours in different times. So my project, let's say first half of April is 2015 is for 15 days. How much hours I spent in initiation, how much in planning, how much in execution, how much in monitoring and control, how much in closing. That's what your question is. So so that will be different for both the projects. That's correct. This is to just avoid so let's say for some reason you put it in the same, your application will be picked up for random audit and you will be having much difficult time. So this is a good suggestion which I believe you guys need to follow. That's all there is to. What is the problem in showing 1 month project, 1 month you have done two projects parallelly, but you are showing it 15 days. Is there an issue reach out there? I don't think so, right? Somehow I'm not able to. Okay, she's okay. So I'm moving on to the next question. Uh, there is a question from Steve. Steve says renewals are PDUs. Yes, Steve, that understanding is correct. I'm not sure when you asked the question, but essentially, as you can see, renewal cycle is every 3 years. So before that, what you get is before taking exam, what you get is 35 hours is 35 contact hours as per this, and these the PDUs are required after once you pass the examination. Okay, Steve. So I'm taking the next question meanwhile. Uh, There is, okay, Sachin, okay, Naveen. Naveen has a question. He has a couple of questions. So the first question is, I'm repeating for all of us over here. Steve already has confirmed. Naveen says, within how many days of the training I have to go for examination? How many attempts are given for a particular application? So within a year, you can have 3 attempts. So this this information. Okay. So once you so basically you will be given 3 attempts in a year by PMI. Okay. So if that is your question, how many attempts are given for a particular application? So it's for a year basically. So you can use the same application in case after 3 attempts also you are not successful. Next year you can again do the same thing. So within how many days of the training I have to go for examination is the, oh, okay. This is very good question actually. Thanks for asking this question, Naveen. The question is, I'm just repeating this 35 contact hour of training. What is the validity of it? It is this question is translating into this 35 contact hours of training I took today. Can I give it today? Next year? So it is a lifetime. You get lifetime. I mean, whenever you want to take your exam, you can take it. So there is no time limit. That's what I'm confirming. I mean, this is a good question which keeps on coming. So the validity is forever till. All right. So you got it. Coming to Sayak, is there any documentary proof to be given for 4500 hours? Essentially, Sayak, this is not needed when you are applying. Okay, you just need to claim for those 4500 contact hours. Okay, so what is needed is when you have let's say more than 4500 hours, once your application, once it is picked up for random audit, so if it comes for audit, then only you need to give a proof, and that too essentially the forms will be provided by PMI, and those forms needs to be filled up, get it signed from your previous project manager. That's all there is to. And as I said, you will be given the audit assistance from Edureka, so you will be knowing how to go about it. Okay, Sayak. Then how many times we can reschedule the exam? I think this is already answered, Shiv Shankar. So this you can n number of times. Sorry, this was not answer. I answered how many times you can take in a year, but rescheduling the exam, you can do it as many number of times as you want. There is no limit on this so far I have known. Then, and how our project experience been verified? That is Shiv Shankar's second question. So this verification, as I said earlier, it will be done during only audit if it comes for audit, and that too needs to be signed by your previous project manager. If he leaves for some reason, then you have to go to HR, and appropriate signing authority will be there. As long as you get the project experience from the signing authority from the organization that you have worked on the project, that should be sufficient. So hope that answers your question, Shiv Shankar. He says thanks. All right, thank you. Then coming to Amit's question. I have experience in past company, but now I have moved to IC role. How to manage that? What is IC role? Sorry, I didn't get it, Amit. You'll have to clarify that. What is IC role? So last 8 years, individual contribution. Oh, all right. Even in individual okay, fine. I got the point. So the previous years you can show. So last 8 years, till last 8 years you can show. So shouldn't be a problem, Amit. I hope that clarifies, right? So your past company experience will come handy. Yeah, thanks. Then Senthil says, I have received 35 PDUs and could not write the exam due to some scenarios Will the same PDUs, so these are not PDUs, these are 35 contact hours, but basically 35 hours. So with the same 35 contact hours hold good after the training, else you can provide 30. So the same 35 contact hours will be useful forever. I mean, there is no expiry for those 35 contact hours. And that is being clarified at PMI website. So that's not an issue. All right, Senthil. I hope now we'll take the couple, 2 or 3 questions. So Sharath says if we submit application now, then even if pattern changes in November 2015, uh, will we still be able to write exam under current pattern only? And if we don't pass, will next attempt also be under current pattern only? So this is the question. This is the topic of the day, Sharath. So you'll have to wait for this answer because this is getting answered and in very much detail. So Sharath, please wait. Let's put answer only those who have questions on. So Senthil says, hi Shekhar, I have received 35 contact hours and could not write the exam due. Okay, that is already covered. And then Sharath, as I said, will be covering in short time. So what is the difference between giving an, Richa has a question. So giving an exam, becoming before being a PMI member or non-PMI member. Okay, so Richa, you can either is fine. You can be a PMI member or non-PMI member. So once you start with the training, we will tell you in detail. But the short of it, you become a PMI member because you get a lot of information from PMI for free, and that is very useful. And you will also see you save around $10-11 when you appear for exam. Hence. We suggest becoming a PMI member. It's no brainer actually, but you'll see why it is. Basically, there is no difference as such otherwise. Okay, we suggest becoming PMI member. It saves money and it gives you extra information. That's all there is. Otherwise, you can, if you prefer, you can be a non-PMI member and still pass it. All right. Kshitish Vyas says, I missed first few minutes session. Did we cover about change? No, we are going to cover it. So Kshitish, wait, you'll get, that's what I covered the PM, what is PMP, because I found more than 90% people who are the participants doesn't have the, yeah. So he says, perfect. Naveen says, the experience that we are talking about here is necessary to be a manager experience. So you can be a lead, you can be senior programmer, you can be, so as long as you are doing project management activities and you can, that's all there is to, because all through me, I've worked as a lead or software engineer, that should be fine. Project lead, software engineer, as long as you are, participating in, and most of us participate, and that's what is more important. Yeah, Naveen. What is the renewal cost after 3 years? Sayak, it's not much. It's little lesser than, so after 3 years, I don't exactly remember, but it's not much. It's something close to, I think, $30 or $40, something like that. Yeah, around less than $50. Yeah, I don't think it is important. So. But we have, once you start the course, you'll have the information. Does it have an effect on cost? Sorry, Richa, I missed your question. So there is a question from Freddy. Freddy, he says, what are the benefits of becoming a PMI member? Sorry, I'm jumping. Raj, I'll come to your question because PMI member, as I said, mainly you get access to a lot of information. You get PMBOK guide, which is the basis of this PMP examination. You get a lot of resources like webinars, seminars. A lot of useful information is available with respect to risk management, all the knowledge area we keep on talking on project management professional. Apart from that, you get a lot of templates like project management template, project charter template, risk register, stakeholder register templates, etc. Okay. So Freddie has is a new version PMBOK going to release? So that is going to get covered, Freddy. You'll have to wait for that. So anything which is, for new, it is getting covered in detail. So don't worry about it. So Raj has a question. Can the question be taken after? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Raj, I'm moving to your right. Thanks, Raj, for that. So, Richa, I didn't get your question of, I hope that is Shitish. I agree with you both, Raj as well as you. So let's begin with the change that is the main topic of today. The change is coming, know how it affects us. So we covered about PMI and so this is where the change is coming. So this is for upcoming exam. So before I talk about change, Sahil says, okay, the 5 domains of practice for PMP remains same. The task within each domain have been modified, added or removed. So how it is done? It is done according to basically your RDS. So that's how it is done. Okay. So it is defining the responsibilities. Okay. What RDS stands for? It stands for role delineation study. So basically which provides an updated project manager profile. So it is a role that as a project manager that you're going to perform, that is project manager profile. So it essentially defines the responsibilities, the task as a project manager you will be doing. So it is essentially another factor that we keep on talking about is basically there are 5 domains. So initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing the project. So you can see that 3 plus 4, so 7, 8, 9. So almost 9 odd tasks are added, which is a major change. And that's where the effect is going to be felt. So when it is going to felt is 1 November. So we'll see that 1 November or what is the date and all will be discussed in detail. So here just before I go on to the task and so on, I just will show you initiating the project. So when you initiate the project, what kind of task you have. So when I initiate the project, I will go for creating project charter. I will go for creating a stakeholder register. Okay, so when I will, so there are these 3 tasks added. We'll see in subsequent slide which are those tasks and how it affects our PMP examination. Okay, then planning the project, we have task 13. So here the main domain is IPEC. So a lot of you are familiar, some of you may not be familiar with IPEC. So it is acronym that we use for these 5 domains. These are basically project management process groups within which those 47 processes are captured. So for example, initiating the project, when you are talking about a couple of there are 2 processes. Closing the project have 2 processes, and the planning the project has maximum number of processes. So out of total of 47 processes, right, you can see that the domains have various, so accordingly there will be number of questions that will be appearing in exam, and that's the importance of this change. Where these domains are mentioned, they are mentioned in 2 places. One is this role delineation study. It will come out with exam related stuff, which we'll see in a moment. Okay, which defines essentially the responsibilities during these domains. So those responsibilities are nothing but your task, and let's see subsequently. So initiating the project, you have, let's say, task number 2, which identify. So there are 2 things that we talk about when we go for PMP exam. So one is PMBOK guide, and which is project management body of knowledge, and second is this delineation, which is essentially, let me show you that. I have it open. So there is these are the tasks actually. So this is exam outline. So which essentially just 10, I think 10 or 11, sorry, 19 or 20 pages, in which main is 9 or 10 pages only. So in which you will get the information initiating what are the tasks you perform, like perform project assessment based upon available information, lessons learned from previous. So those are the tasks which are mentioned in your exam outline. Now this RDS that I'm talking about, right? Role delineation study. What is it? Why we are doing it, or why PMI is doing it? So RDS is being done almost 3 to 5 years, but so far it is 5 years. So the first one was done in 2005. The next one was in 2010. The next one was 2015. So so 5 to 10 there are changes, 10 to 15 there are changes. Okay, there is so that is what a role delineation study that is done every 5 to 10 3 to 5 years, but usually what you have seen is max is taken the 5 years. Another thing is PMBOK guide. PMBOK guide is every 4 years. So last one that was released was Jan 2013. Okay, now it is going to get released. Next one will be first quarter of 2017. So every 4 years around. So what you are seeing is there are two set of documents we are referring to. One is PMBOK guide, which is much more detailed book, project management body of knowledge, almost 600, 700 some pages, good number of pages with lot of information, whereas this is 20 pages document, which also impact because it talks about the role that you as a project manager play. So what is the importance of RDS? RDS is it is as per ISO standard, and there are other standards which essentially improves the importance of this examination from industry standard or industry practice perspective. So industry recognizes if you are doing RDS, that is PMI doing RDS for PMP examination, it is going to essentially look into how the exam is organized and how it should be as per the current practices that have evolved over the period of time. So it takes into account the evolution process over the period of time, and that's what is this role delineation study, which defines the responsibility of a project manager in terms of task, the way I have shown you example. So that is what is happening in 2015. So June 2015 is when this was published or it was finalized. I mean, a lot of PMPs, and it is not few people who are doing the RDS and it is published to all and everybody needs to follow. It's not like that. It gets reviewed with the body who is working on role delineation study, and basically they come out with the recommendation, and that recommendation is sent to for a survey with PMP certified people like me, and who will comment on that, and based on the psychometric analysis again for that role delineation study that is being done, the these responsibilities or tasks will be added to the your RDS. So which is essentially exam, which provides you exam outline. So that's the name for role. That's the function this role delineation study does in your PMP examination. So I will give you the links at the end, where these can be seen. Of course, PMI links will be there. So let's go and check out, which are the tasks and what is getting changed. So this will be more important for people like Sahil and Kshitij, etc., where they and Raj, of course. So identifying key variables based on the business requirements in order to manage customer expectation and direct the achievements of project goals. So that I'm just going to read quickly. Conduct benefit analysis. So this is task number 7. I also showed you that this is how all the tasks look like in that PMP from PMI.org. PMP certification exam outline is what you're looking at, right? But what is changed? That's the only thing that I'm going to. So basically, these are already covered in PMBOK guide, but there will be exam pattern which will change based on these tasks. That's all there is to. So identifying key variables in initiating the project was not there earlier. It is there now. So it is as per customer expectation project goals. Then conducting benefit analysis with relevant stakeholders to validate project alignment with organizational strategy and expected business value. This was not there earlier. Now it is there. So benefit analysis, if you remember, and that this is with respect to basically program management. Business value is with respect to portfolio management, strategy, organizational strategy, alignment. Your project aligning, getting aligned with organizational strategy is very important. So if any one of you have attended my lecture, we know that all the projects needs to be aligned to the organization, right? At the top, you have organizational goals or objectives or strategy. So it all starts with the strategy. Then comes your portfolio management or portfolio, right? Then comes your program, then comes your project. So from that perspective, what you are seeing is that alignment factor has become more stronger in initiating the project in the task numbers. Then inform stakeholders of the approved project charter. So earlier this was not there, which is very important to ensure common understanding of key deliverables. The word key deliverables was not there in initiating the project. So we know that this has become important. So the questions will be coming from this angle. Key. That is after 2nd of November, which will tell anyway. So milestones and their roles and responsibilities. Then develop the stakeholder management plan by analyzing needs, interest, and potential impact in order to effectively manage stakeholders' expectation and engage them in the project decision. So what was there during planning? We already have stakeholder management plan, but this task was not mentioned earlier. So if you see, this is already covered in PMBOK guide. So manage the flow of information by following the communication plan in order to keep stakeholders engaged and informed. Okay, so this is during executing. So these two tasks were not there. So although you will see if you have attended the lectures, any one of you from our side, you will be knowing that there is a definite link between project communication management and project stakeholder management. So we have those 10 knowledge areas in which project communication management is one knowledge area, project stakeholder management is another knowledge area. So they have separate chapter, they are called modules. So they have direct linking. So which is mentioned over here, but when we cover in Edureka, when flow, we do talk about this flow of information by following communication plan in order to keep stakeholders engaged and informed. So you can see that stakeholder related word stakeholder has come multiple times and it will keep on coming, and that's how the importance of these task numbers. And you can expect more questions on stakeholder management and their connection between communication plan and flow of information. Maintain stakeholder relationship by following the stakeholder management plan in order to receive continued support and manage expectation. So very important, you try to manage the stakeholder relationship, you follow the stakeholder management, but this is in order to what was covered earlier mainly was managing expectations, but receiving continued support is what is getting added extra, and this task itself is getting added. So from that perspective, monitoring and controlling, capture, analyze and manage lessons learned is becoming very important, using lessons learned management technique in order to enable continuous improvement. So throughout the project from start to end, you will be uh, um, uh, capturing the lessons learned, analyzing them and managing the lessons learned. So that was not earlier, but this is also covered in PMBOK guide, but there is a extra emphasis in a task, and that will reflect in number of questions coming on that. Monitor procurement activities according to procurement plan in order to verify compliance with project objectives. So compliance with project objectives, verifying compliance was not there earlier. So as per the, but you'll see PMBOK guide might be discussing the same. So don't worry too much about these tasks that I have been talking about, because they will be covered in one way or other when you talk about PMBOK guide. What changes essentially is number of questions that will be talking about to these tasks. So what is changing is not the content on which you are going to prepare your exam, but what is changing is basically the questions that will come. So those questions will be coming on these tasks also. So you'll have to, we'll see what are the important points at the end. So let me, before that, current format is basically IPEC is 13%, 24%, 30%. So these many number of questions are expected, 13% in initiation, 30% in executing, 24% in planning, and so on, 8% in closing. So what is change is expected change as per the new release of RDS, role delineation study, is only executing you can expect 31%, closing 7%. Actually speaking, it's a very minor change, but this is what you can expect: more question on executing and less on closing. 1% will translate 200 questions are there, right? 1% will translate to 2 questions, 1%. So 2 questions you can expect more in executing, and two questions you can expect less in closing, for example. So changes in PMBOK guide. So are there any changes in PMBOK guide? No, there is no change to PMBOK guide. It is supposed to be released in first quarter of 2017. So right now we are working on, or we are using PMBOK guide edition 5. Is it changing? Answer is no, it is not changing. It is not changed. The change is coming in only 2017 first quarter, which is pretty far. Then cutover date for exam with current set of announced changes. So what is changed actually? There are two things we talked about. One is PMBOK guide, another is role delineation model or exam outline. So which is 20-page document, which essentially talks about set of current changes announced, which will be 2nd November onwards. So till 1st November, if you have studied, and I'll tell you what is important, but let's first finish the slide and then I'll tell you, my commentary on that. So last date participants will be able to take the exam based on 5th edition is first quarter 2017. So rest assured, if you are taking, let's say 35 contact hours training, or you have taken already from Edureka, it is the same. Nothing is changing as such. Only that 20-page in which the task have changed. So the questions that will be asked based on that. So the last line says it all actually. New set of question to fit this new or revised task. This is actually should have come first, but anyway. So this is what it is actually. This is what is changing. PMBOK guide is not changing. It's remaining same till first quarter. So when is it changing? Till first quarter 2017, which is ITTO will not be affected at all. Input, tools and techniques, and output. Every process, we talked about 47 processes. Every process will have input, tools and technique and output. And to change ITTO, PMBOK must be changed, which is happening only in first quarter of 2017. So that won't happen until 6th edition is released. So the connection is ITTO PMBOK guide is not changing, so there is that's what the impact. Only new set of question to fit this new or revised task is what is going to be seen by you. So that takes me to the reference slide. So this will be available to you guys. Basically, what was the examination content outline in 2015? So this is what we are talking about. This is the change which was released in June 2015, will be applicable in on 2nd November onwards. Till 1st November 2015, you will be taking based on content online outline 2010. How many of you have been told this content itself is a question mark, but anyway, if you have been told, you know that there is one more resource that you need to go and check for. So you have these further references in order. So that's all there is to. Now I'm going to take all the questions that you guys have. So let's go one by one. Yeah, Salil. So this presentation will be obviously shared. Okay. All right. So what are the benefits of becoming PMI member is already answered. Kshitij, Sahil, Raj Goel. So Raj says, should I read through some PMP books like Head First PMP before attending PDO hours or after attending? Would it be required to pass the exam or only PDU 35 hours will sufficient? Raj, as per me, your PMBOK guide is more than sufficient, but you can read it before, after. It's a good book. So like Head First PMP kind of books are good in order to enhance your understanding. But in case of doubt whether the answer is correct or not, you still will have to come back to. So these two books only I suggest, mainly PMBOK guide. Then secondly, Edureka also provide a handbook, PMP handbook. These two will be good enough. In which I will always suggest PMBOK guide is the best for any exam that you, I mean PMP exam that you're going to pass. Couple of books, as Raj you have said, Head First is good. So these are additional, not mandatory. If you would like to have further information, because this is very dry subject when you come to PMBOK guide. So at times you want to read something more. So that's where Head First PMP. But a lot of the things will be covered from practical perspective when we cover in this 35 contact hours. Okay. Rita Malka is another book I can suggest. Can I get the URL mentioned as content outline 2015? Right. I'm passing it on right now. So as I said, the video of this webinar will be available to you guys. Okay, you will be able to see that. Okay. So let me see if I can copy. Oh, it is not letting me copy. So sorry, I am not able to put it. Oh, okay, I have it here, right? All right. Yeah, I have it here. So I'm doing that right now. So I'm sharing it with you all. Where is the question which was selected? All right. Yeah, Kshitij, I'm sending it to all so you guys can have. All right. Then next question is from Salil. He says, will you be sharing the presentation? Or yes, Salil. Answer is yes. I already answered. Oh, okay. You already said. Wonderful. Thanks. Sharath says, do you offer training for 2010 pattern or to? So Sharath, you don't have to get confused too much. As I said, it's a small topic wherein the training is based on PMBOK guide mainly, but we do cover these tasks also. So 2015 will only start after November 2015. The main change that you are going to see is in the kind of questions that you are going to get. So hope that answers your question, Sharath. Shrikant has, will there be any difference between current version and new version in terms of certification benefits? Like, does people will ask? No, they will not be asking, because they will be asking your certification for PMBOK guide editions, which will be 5th, which you are welcome, Shitish. So Shrikant, people will be basically asking about uh, PMP certification based on PMBOK guide version, which is more important, more significant than this. But some people might ask, which is very rare. Then Salil says PMBOK knowledge questions are available on internet platform or forums. They are available. Salil, you may search for that, but we provide 1,000 questions, which is 5 questions papers. So 5 question papers is more than sufficient. So that's what should help you. So Sharath, okay, Sharath has, let me open the, Sharath has, or do I put it, do you focus on current pattern or future pattern in training batch? So Sharath, I have to focus on current pattern. The future pattern, only questions are changing, and so I'm just opening your line in case you have further question. You are online, just take care of background noise if any. So I heard, apart from questions, they have more filtration for checking on our experience or application that we, okay, Sharath has that second question. Sharath, you are fine with the first question now? I hope so. So yeah, he says yes. All right. Heard, apart from questions, they have more filtration for checking on our experience or application that we filled in. I didn't get this question, Sharath. You have to, you are online, but I think you have self-muted. Not sure. I can't unmute you. You have self-muted yourself. I have unmuted from my side, so you can speak, or you will have to explain it further, because I am not very sure what the question means. Okay, he says, is application filing same pattern or different? So application talks about the IPIC initiation planning. So it hardly matters, because initiation planning. So you know what task you are doing for initiation planning. So it is not impacting you. Okay. So they validate your application in case your application, you validate your experience. Actually, they can't come and validate your experience. You have to provide them the certificate that they are asking for from your organization with whom you have done the project. Yeah, Sharath says he got it. Kshitij, I am opening you. I think that is the last question I'm seeing. Prashant also has one more question. So Sharath, I'm muting. Kshitij, all right. Yeah, Kshitij, you are online. So your question is, Kshitij, where is, could you please unmute? Yeah, I have unmuted Kshitij. Please go ahead. Oh, okay, okay. Actually, when you join, we do share our email IDs with you in first class. So it is shaker.r@edureka.co. So that's where you guys can reach us. Yeah. So Kshitij, he didn't speak. I don't know what. Okay, fine. He muted himself. I'm not able to hear him. So moving on to next question. I have one more question. Okay, Kshitij, Sharaj. Prashant is the last question, I believe. We'll stop after this. So Shekhar, is there a template in filling the 4,500 hours before answering the PMP survey? Yes, and that's what we help you with, Prashant. So the Edureka contact, Edureka support does help you with these, how to go about filling those 4,500 hours. I mean, you have to come with your experience. So only they will give you a template, essentially Excel sheet, which will help you. Yeah, Prashant, thanks. Kshitish says, my question was about cross-cutting knowledge skills. So is it also impact on exam? Yes, Kshitish, definitely. It has impact on exam, and that's what we cover when you join. And essentially, these cross-cutting knowledge skills I didn't cover because these are the ones which are, more or less remain same, like leadership skills. These are these are soft skills. That's what you will see, and these cuts across all the IPEC, and that's how those are the common skills and analytical skills, etc. So we do cover those, and those are also part of your PMBOK guide. So yeah, that is uh, also having impact on exam, but the major impact is already covered. Okay, because those are more or less already covered in a lot of questions that we have asked. So what we are going to change is a lot of questions that we are going to ask post 2015 November 2. Okay. All right, guys. It was nice having you, and it was very interesting questions that I came my way. Before I sign off, there is one more question I'll take from Kshitish. I have, which he says, although this is not right plan, is there any other way to touch? So, Shaker.r at edureka.co is what you can reach me with. Okay. Salil says, this was very helpful. Thanks so much for taking time and educating us. My pleasure, Salil. Thank you very much for listening into me and walking through the, yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Wish you all the best and hope to see you guys with Edureka soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.